me, ladies and gentlemen, Danny Bonaduce, life coach. Give me a call, 1-800-252-1025. Hey, Danny Bonaduce, life coach, is brought to you by Goldberg Jones, Divorce for Men. Call 1-800-DIVORCE. Let us go to the phones to talk to Joe in Sumner, actually. Good morning, Joe.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm pretty good.
Good, I'm glad to hear it. What can I do for you?
Well, I have a daughter who's 34 years old who has been using meth since 1999.
She use any other kind of drugs, or was she using all drugs and then gave them up for meth?
She could have been using others.
Okay.
Yeah, possible. She claims that she's a functional meth user.
No such animal. I'm a social meth user. I was a social crackhead 30 years ago or 20 years ago or whatever it was. There's really no such animal. You can be an alcoholic. Sarah and I were just talking about this morning, that you can be a functioning alcoholic and go to your job and things like that. I do not believe for one moment that there is such a thing as, in the long run, a functional meth head. And if she is today, she won't be tomorrow. It's just not that kind of drug. You know, I'm not going to believe that she fell through the nets and she's that guy. She's going to destroy herself. Like, when she says she's a functioning meth head, what does that mean to you? How does she function?
She says that she can use it and still be able to go about her day, going to work, going to do her things throughout the day, and it doesn't affect her.
Oh, God, she's so wrong. And I worry about her a great deal, Joe, because here's how, when she's going to know that she's wrong, when it just blows up in her face, when something really awful has happened, when she gets pulled over with meth in the car. Does she have any kids?
She does.
Okay, no way, man. I mean, she doesn't even have to do anything wrong. All she has to do is have her friends find out that mommy, you want to buy some cookies from my mommy? No, the last time I got cookies from your house, they had meth in there. It's really bad. She's not functioning just because she hasn't crashed yet. So what is your question for me? Because I hope it's, how do I get her help? Because the answer is you have to get her help. What is your question for me, Joe?
I want to know how to get her help. And she's lost all three of her children. She's lost her home. She's lost her self-respect.
What makes her think she's functioning? I lost my children in my house. Is she crazy?
I can't seem to convince her that the things that have happened are caused by her meth usage.
So why does she think her kids were taken away? Why does she think her kids were taken away?
I don't know.
She blame her ex-husband or ex-boyfriend, the kids' fathers?
Kids' fathers.
And how many of the kids come from the same man?
2 come from one.
Okay, she's 34 years old. She has kids from multiple dads. She's lost her kids. She's lost her house. I think the first thing you want to do is make her realize that she might be out of her mind. She's not functioning. She's a full-blown drug addict that loses her kids and her homes. So here's the best way. The way I can tell you to get her into some kind of recovery is to make her know that she needs it. You're going to have to talk reason with her. And I don't know that much about meth. I mean, I've never sat around with people on meth, and I've sat around with people on every other kind of drug. But if she's better behaved on the meth, I would not be opposed to letting her do the drug she thinks long enough to be, functioning to have a conversation with me. But you have to let her know that she's going to lose her kids forever or she is going to die. Now, we get so many calls about this kind of thing and recovery. I keep a couple of different phone numbers and websites here at the radio station. There's one in your neck of the woods. You're in Sumner, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Actually, you know what? Why don't you just go to the Treatment Centers directory? So first thing you got to do, and it's treatmentcentersdirectory.com. Find that, get a website, and get some addresses in your neck of the woods. But here's the thing. The first thing you have to do is convince her that she needs it, because she does. Man, if she's already lost her kids in her house, the next thing to go would be her health or her freedom. So you need to talk to her, Joe, and let her make her believe she's got a devastating problem. And this will happen one of these days, her connection will dry up and she won't be able to get her meth. And when she's pouring sweat and freaking out and pulling bugs off her skin, she'll know for sure, hey, this was a bad idea. I'm not in control anymore. Good luck. I appreciate the call. I hope everything works out for you, Joe.
800-252-1025. You should be calling that number right now if you've got a problem, because any kind of problem you have, Danny Bonaduce can help you. Remember, you can change your name, say you want to be anonymous, or call yourself Becky.
Yeah.
Or Steve.
I call myself Becky.
Yeah, I know. 800-252-1025 or lifecoach@KZOK.com. Kay in Seattle sent an email. I really need your help, Danny. I don't know what to do. In January, I had a miscarriage, and it's all I can think about. How do I get past this? And will it get better?
You know what? It's weird because one of the reasons that I am the life coach is because I've had all sorts of problems and lived through them. And you're thinking to yourself, what are you going to do about this, Bonaduce? This is singular to her. And first of all, it's not. It's sad. But my mom, and this is amazing to me. I couldn't believe it when she told me. My mom had 8 miscarriages.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, I was supposed to be like number 12. I don't know if she lost them all 8 before my eldest brother John came out or if they were mixed up. But she was, if they'd have all come through, there would have been 8 Bonaduce kids or 12 Bonaduce kids. So here's the thing. She didn't even tell me about that till, I guess she was picking how old am I to know. I don't even know why I needed to know. But what she told me she had an interesting look at it, but she wasn't heartbroken. I imagine there was a time where she couldn't move. You know, they're kids in a lot, you know, so she must have been heartbroken like you are right now and had 8 of them, which seems like really above and beyond. But when I found out about this, my mother was a happy, loving, easygoing person, and she told me matter-of-factly that I had 8 miscarriages, and then we moved along, and she's never been unhappy about anything but things that you can look at and go, oh, you're right, my dad's a jerk to you. Oh, you're getting a divorce. Normal things. But this didn't seem, I'm sure she was unhappy, but it didn't break her spirit. She's a lovely woman, and I look at her as fun-loving. You met her.
Absolutely.
She's a fun-loving lady, man. Absolutely. So you will give it time. I'm not going to recommend anything. You know, if you want to go into grief counseling or things like that, more power, and you should. But I know my mom is a super happy person, and she had 8 of them. So God bless you. And here's the answer. Time. Tom will do it on that one, I promise you.
This is Danny Bonaduce, life coach. He is helping you with your problems. If you've got one, call now. Frankie in Seattle, you're up next.
Hey, Frankie. How you doing, man?
Good.
Good. What can I do for you?
Little bit of a problem. You know, I got a son that I just love to death, and the guy just, you know, failure to launch. He doesn't want to get out. He's, we'll say, 26, and me and his mother just can't figure out what to do with him. You know, he just doesn't want to get out on his own, and it's driving us crazy. You know, all the domesticated things that are going on in the household, you know.
Well, I got to tell you something, Frankie. You know, we kid Will a lot around here, but he lives at home. He's in the basement. It's kind of a separate unit, if you will. But we were talking, he's thinking about getting a place and moving out. I was kind of thinking, you really do have it made. She cooks. She does the laundry. I wouldn't go.
Not. I take care of myself.
Oh, whatever, you bastard. You live with your mom and she washes your sheets. So here's the thing you got to know. And Will's pointing that, you know, he wants to go now, but he's 35, not 26. The fact of the matter is, your kid, in my opinion, doesn't want to go right now. He does, in fact, have it made. I think what you need to do, because he's in his mid-20s. As I get older, I start to raise the bar on who's an adult and who's still a kid. 26 is a guy. That's a man. I think it's time. Just have a talk with him. Let him know. Have a talk with him. Let him know. First of all, start charging rent. Do you charge any rent, Frankie?
No.
Okay, my daughter is 19 and having kind of a difficult time of it right now, and I invited her to come to and live with me and my wife because I think she's incredibly unhappy. And the first thing my wife said to me, and this kid's 19, is, well, she's absolutely paying rent. It'll be small, it'll be marginal, but she should know what it's like to pay rent and pay her bills. So that's the first thing I would say for a 26-year-old is set some parameters and put on a small rent there, and that's what I do. Start the rent and let him go get near living on his own at all. Stop doing everything for him, because I'm betting the wife, and tell me if I'm wrong here, Frankie, I'm betting the wife not only does his laundry, but cooks his meals.
Oh, that's affirmative.
Yeah, you got to stop that. You got to tell your wife, as much as you love her, she's doing her son no favor. Because even when he does go and he will want to go, he's not going to be able to do anything. He's not going to know how to pay his bills. He's not going to know how to keep up with the electrical. He's not going to know how to shop. So you got to start giving this kid some rules. And he's got to pay some rent, and he's got to put some groceries on the table, and he's actually got to go to the grocery store every now and again to do it. And, he's going to go one day, and I'm betting this, he's going to go, well, if I'm doing all this stuff at home, I should move out. But here's the answer, Frankie. Make living at home look exactly like living on his own, except it's embarrassing to bring chicks over. There's your answer, Frankie. Thank you very much.
Good luck, Frankie. Very sound advice, Danny.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Tara in Seattle, you're on with Danny Bonaduce, life coach.
Hey, what's up, Tara?
Okay. Hi, Danny.
Hi.
So my question is, I have a stepson. He's 15. And he has disclosed he has been cutting for 5 years. He's severely depressed. And we don't know what to do since we don't have, the custody of him.
Who has custody of him?
His mother.
Okay.
And she basically refuses to even talk to us. She is in total denial. She did take him to the doctor to start some medication.
Do you know what he takes?
Zoloft.
Oh, okay. Not the end all of antidepressants, but all right. There's absolutely nothing wrong with Zoloft, and it comes in different milligrams of the active ingredient. So yeah, there's nothing wrong there.
Okay. So the question is...
By the way, Tara, don't tell him this. There's no reason to tell this kid this, but it does have an effect on your sexual prowess. Almost all antidepressants do. I'm just showing off with how much information I've got.
He's 15.
But yeah, well, no, but a 15-year-old growing and things like that, 15? you start hitting that area. Although I imagine a 15-year-old can work through anything when they turn 17. Let's make him be 17 for this conversation. But yeah, no, I'm highly recommending Zoloft. It's a fine drug. Hey, when he was telling you that he's a cutter, did he decide to show you any scars?
He did. He showed us. He was open about it.
And are they any good?
The scars?
Yeah.
Not too bad.
Okay, the reason I ask is Sarah and Will both looked at me and go, did you just say good scars on a 15-year-old? And yes, I do mean good scars on a 15-year-old, only because if you don't get what you want with the mom who has custody, you're going to call DFS and say this kid's cutting himself and he's got the scars to prove it. So if you haven't seen the kid in a couple of months, it's going to sound terrible. I want him to have the scars to show, but you don't want to come off like a prying maniac on this kid needs to show, and for your benefit, you need to show this kid's hurting himself and mom's not doing anything about it, and they will frown on that. And a judge, if you want it, may absolutely give you custody because she's not watching out when she should. That's my theory. So here, what is your question? You got a severely depressed kid. He's self-destructive and he's cutting himself. What is your question?
I want to know what we can do ultimately to help this kid.
I think you're doing a lot of it. You're doing a great job, Trevor. One is discuss it with him. The other thing is you happen to know what medication he's taking. In this case, is Zoloft. He's showing you his scars. You're doing the right stuff. I know this is going to seem because and when I ask this question, I give you my answer. If it turns out the way I thought it would, you're going to want to be involved in this kid's life. So here's the question: what kind of music does he listen to?
Oh, he loves a mixture of country to heavy metal. That's kind of his genre.
Okay, that's all I really need to know. There is another girl. She's a little older than him now, but she was 15 when she got famous. Her name is, and correct me if I'm picking the wrong one because there's like 3 of these right now. Demi Lovato, is she the cutter? Mm-hmm. Yeah, Demi Lovato, what is it?
Demi
Lovato is she started as a Disney star. She has a decent music career going on right now. She's got blue hair at the moment, which kind of annoys me. But the fact of the matter is, she's a cutter. You take a kid that listens to rock and roll, serious like metal rock and roll, and he's smart. And I have a feeling, I don't know why I have a feeling that your kid's smart, but I do, that he's going to go, I don't want the same troubles that Demi Lovato has. I want what, you know what? It's not cool to be the cutter anymore. And I think that's a lot of times that's why they do it. They want the interest, and that's a fascinating problem because mom and dad don't get it anymore. He's going to not want the same disorder that Demi Lovato has. So keep him going to a psychologist or psychiatrist that are giving him the Zoloft. Work with him, deal with him. I don't think he wants to cut himself anymore. He wouldn't be showing you the scars. But the main thing you do is get involved, and I can tell by what you're saying to me, you are. Good job, Tara, and I appreciate the phone call. And call back if something else happens, like hopefully a good update. Hey, I talked to my kid, and he's not doing that anymore. Thank you very much. That's all the time we have for Danny Bonaduce, Life Coach. Danny Bonaduce, Life Coach, brought to you by Goldberg Jones. Divorce Repair, and call 1-800-DIVORCE.